Ah yes, questing, one of my favorite activities in RuneScape, except when they have no right to be as hard as they are. Or maybe I'm just really underleveled. We are back with our journey through Old School RuneScape, coming from World of Warcraft being my main game. And if you aren't quite caught up, that's okay, because it's basically just been me grinding thieving for the past bit, which also means I'm now rich as hell. And it's gone. I spent basically all of it on nature runes so I could superheat and get my magic up. Was it worth it? Honestly, probably not. There was probably much cheaper ways of getting my magic up. But on the plus side, we can high elk now, which gives me a quite decent money maker, once I figure out something profitable to actually use it on. So finally we went back to questing, which my goodness I missed so much, and we started off with the quest, the Golem, which honestly was nothing special. It was pretty much just me kind of like repairing this clay golem thing in the middle of the desert, and I had to do some trekking back and forth to get stuff for him, and I guess I unlocked a new flight path from the magic carpet to Oozer, so yay, I guess. But then we also unlocked the subsequent quest called Shadow of the Storm. And oh boy, this quest was fun. Which the first part of it was pretty straightforward. It was really just running around talking to people and then kind of working with these cultists and pretending to be a cultist myself, working with them in the basement of this sand temple. And they wanted to like summon a demon or something, but then one of the cultists was a traitor, so the other cultists and the golem and I worked together to try and stop this demon after all, and then we had to fight this demon at the end. And that was the tricky part, because you had to do it melee. And up to this point, basically every fight I have ever done has been with magic. So this was interesting. And I mean, damage wasn't really an issue. My rune scimitar was fine. It was the fact that I didn't really bring enough food, of course. So my first attempt went pretty sideways, and I had to Ring of Dueling out of there because I ran out of my 4 swordfish I brought very, very quickly. So this time, I made sure to come prepared, or so I thought. Because somehow, I still managed to die, even though I had more than enough food this time. So I cooked up some more swordfish, ran back, and this attempt, this was gonna be the one. We had him down to 8 health. What could possibly go wrong? While not paying attention, that's what could go wrong. I even swapped to the Silverlight sword like I was supposed to at the end, and I still messed it up somehow. So I cooked up some more swordfish, ran back, and somehow I managed to have an even worse attempt. And I died a 3rd time to this freaking demon. Which, to be fair, I chalk up this attempt to bad RNG because he hit me for 8 like 3 times in a row. I think it's clear I was not built for melee in RuneScape. So 4th time's the charm, am I right? Isn't that what they usually say, or is it 3rd time's the charm? I don't know. But I guess 4th time was the charm, because thank God we finally killed this stupid demon. And we finally finished up the stupid Shadow of the Storm quest. So next up on the list of errands was I needed some law runes because I was fresh out. And I found on the wiki that apparently Ali Morrison has them as long as you do his little rogue trader quest, which took me like 2 minutes to bang out. Except, little did I realize I was in for, quite literally, the hardest thing I think I've ever done in RuneScape so far. Sudoku. It quite literally took me an hour to figure this out. I was struggling, man. And I thought they just had to be different for each vertical and horizontal row. So that's what I did, and it was not working. But then I realized they have to be different in every 3x3 square too. Like, I've never played Sudoku. I don't know this, man. Like, damn, this game really trying to make me think here? I don't know how to do that. But nonetheless, we did get our law runes and we moved on. Thank God. And that was then when I went and blew all my money on nature runes, and at least after that we went and got our Varrock Easy Diary chest plate, which was pretty cool and gives you extra ore for mining, so that's pretty neat. Which of course came in very handy when I went to go do some superheating for a while. Which, on the topic of superheating, I actually found a strat that I actually thought of on my own. I didn't find it on some YouTube guide this time, where if you actually play around with the filters of your magic and allow for resizing and all that, you can line up your superheat magic spell with the last ore in your inventory. Which of course is the only one you need to click because it uses the ore from top to bottom, so I had it set up in a way that I literally only had to click in one spot. So it was a decent little mini grind in between questing, but finally we were done with it. It was at this point as well when I finally decided to ditch the OSRS efficiency guide for good, because honestly, I was just ready to go off on my own and do what I wanted to focus on rather than what some guide told me to. And I had my eye on Pyramid Plunder because honestly, it just really intrigued me and I wanted to try it out, but oh boy, did I realize there is a laundry list of things to do to be able to start doing it properly. Most of which include the prerequisite quests, but then there's also getting Graceful, and yeah, that's a grind and a half, from what I've heard. So starting with step 1, we finished up the Prince Ali rescue quest, which, about time, because I'd been on that quest for a long ass time now, which then allowed us to do Icthlaren's Little Helper. I think I got it. Which, oh my god, did this quest drag on. The amount of times I had to run through this freaking maze of a pyramid, god. And not only that, but you had to use the mini-map to click around because you had to avoid the traps, and these traps were freaking impossible to see. But we finally finished it up, and I can now talk to cats, I guess, because I've always wanted to talk to my cat that I never have, because they always run away. But we still had one quest left to go, because even though we already unlocked Pyramid Plunder, I still didn't have bank access in Sophonem. So we started the quest, Contact. And already this quest gave me a wake-up call, because when I had to go down into the cavern for the first time and go through this long maze, I was very humbled by these very hard-hitting wizards, and I guess the idea was to find a way into the city right next to Sophonem, but instead we ran into this like random lady in the middle of the dungeon. So we went back to El Kharid to talk to Ozman, and he basically told us we had to go back into the cavern, and I looked at the quest guide and it said, prepare to fight a level 191 giant scarab. And it's safe to say I was shivering me timbers a little bit, but I came well prepared at least. I got my anti-poisons, I got my food, and I was ready to attempt it. And, well, yeah. He was way too hard, and I tried following like a safe spotting strat from a YouTube video I found, and it did not work. It also didn't help that I had 0 protection prayers yet, so I was taking every bit of damage. So I decided I should probably get 43 prayer first at least. So I did the quest that pretty much gives the most prayer XP out of any quest, which was Holy Grail, which was quick enough, I guess. The longest part was I had to fight this beast guy that for some reason took so long to kill, like my god. But we finished it up and we got like literally 11 levels of prayer. I was like already 31 prayer from it. And then I quickly did Priest in Peril as well, since I was gonna have to do that later to get to Canifis anyways, and it gives prayer XP, so I figured why not do it now. As for my last few levels of prayer, I remembered my friends telling me that Blessed Bone Shards that I got from Varlamore were actually used for prayer, and I had a lot of them. And oh man, did the XP come quick from those bad boys, because all I had to do was enchant some wine and then offer the bone shards to some altar, and oh my goodness. It was literally filling the bar like halfway every click. It was insane. And though this only got us to 42 prayer, that was at least high enough to get Protect from Missile, which was the main protection prayer I needed, so we were fine at that. And while I'm still very under the combat level recommended for this fight, I decided to give another go at it. We did it. I am an absolute gamer. My hands were shaking. I'm not even kidding. Shaking after killing it, dude. Like, it literally gave me the same feeling as when I kill an Elden Ring boss. And we finally had bank access in Sophamem, which means there was one step to this thing left. I needed Graceful. Which brings us to where we are now. Good old Canifis, where I have been grinding my heart out for marks, and I will probably still be doing for the foreseeable future. This has been a ride, you guys, but let me tell you, nothing has compared to the rush I got from killing that giant scarab yet. That was insane. So, I'm definitely curious to see how some of the future boss fights I've got in store for myself go. But that's going to be it for this time, because we have got some marks to grind. So if you did enjoy this video, please do like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments how the contact quest went for you, because surely I'm not the only one that struggled on this quest. Right? Right?